reading from the Dead Sea Scrolls Bible, I find that this scroll, great scroll of Isaiah, to be important enough to read publicly at least one time on the internet. This is all translated from the original scrolls. So the scrolls lasted like 500 years, and so it was necessary to preserve and copy them. And it seems they had a copy as the great Isaiah scroll, and now we find it, and we find that which is long before the Masoretic text that we have today. For our benefit, 3 scholars translated to English, so I'm reading the English translation. Everywhere it says Lord, it was originally Jehovah. The 24th chapter of Isaiah reads like this: See, Jehovah is about to lay waste the land and devastate it. He will turn it upside down and scatter abroad its inhabitants. And as it will be with the people, so with the priest. As with the slave, so with his master. As with the as with the maid, so with the mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. As with the creditor, so with his debtor. The earth will be totally emptied and completely laid waste. For Jehovah has spoken this word. The earth dries up and withers. The world languishes and fades away. Heaven fades away together with the earth. The earth also lies polluted under its inhabitants because they have transgressed the Torah, violated the statutes, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore a curse consumes, and those dwelling in it are held guilty. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned up, and few people are left. The new wine dries up, the vine, the oil decays, all the merrymakers groan. The gaiety of timbrels cease, the noise of merrymakers ends, the mirth of the harp is silent. No longer do they drink wine with singing, and strong drink is bitter to those who drink it. The chaotic city is broken down, every house is shut up, so no one can enter. There is an outcry for wine in the streets. All gaiety turns to gloom. The gladness of the land is banished. Desolation is left in the city. Its gate is battered to ruins, for so it will be on the earth and among the peoples, as when an olive tree is beaten, or as the gleaning when the grape harvest is ended. They lift up their voices, they shout for joy. They cry out from the west over the majesty of Jehovah. Therefore in the east, glorify Jehovah. In the coastlands of the sea, glorify the name of Jehovah, the Elohim of Israel. From the ends of the earth we hear songs of praise. Glory to the righteous one. But I say, I am pining away, I am pining away. Woe is me. For the treacherous dead deal treacherously. The treacherous deal very treacherously. Terror and the pit and the snare are upon you, O inhabitants of the earth. Then whoever flees at the sound of the terror will fall into the pit, and whoever climbs out of the pit will be caught in the snare. For the windows above are opened, and the foundations of the earth shake. The earth is utterly broken, the earth is torn asunder, the earth is violently shaken, the earth staggers like a drunkard, it sways to and fro like a hut, its transgressors lies heavy upon it, and it falls, never to rise again. On that day Jehovah will punish the hosts of the high ones in heaven, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. They will be gathered together in a dungeon, they will be shut up in prison. After many days will be punished. Then the moon will be banished, and the sun will be ashamed, for Jehovah the Sabaoth will reign on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his elders there will be glory. This is a prophecy of the day of the Lord. This is a prophecy of the judgment upon the whole earth. We find also in the book of Malachi the word saying, on that day, remember the Torah of Moses. We find now that history declares to us this wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and keeping his Torah is understanding. In the great commandment, the first commandment is written that we are to love him who delivers, who has delivered us. And how do we do this? By keeping his Torah. We see the judgment upon the whole earth for violation of the laws of the universe. And yet we also see the fulfillment of the condemnation. The prophecy has been fulfilled throughout the ages. Even today in our generation, we see economies falling over even something as simple as a virus. First plague and then famine.